And now to our discussion segment on the conversation today. We have a Nigerian who is proposing for the establishment of a federal and state digital asset reserve, a call I see particularly timely, aligning with global financial shifts and the recent legislative clarity introduced in Nigeria. Talking about the Investments and Securities Act 2025, which officially recognizes virtual and digital assets as securities under Nigerian law and further providing legal certainty, mandating compliance for operators of virtual asset service providers and introducing investors safeguards. Now, to discuss issues around the proposed digital asset is Mr. Ochuko K. Jobo. He is a microeconomist and member of ICANN. He is also the author of the Next Money book, Internet of Value Assets. He joins us from Lagos studio. You're welcome to Business Express. Okay, well, to begin with the conversation, let's start with Elon Musk's comments on how possible is it to actually settle a country's debt using artificial intelligence.
There is a master plan. It's quite secret. Elon Musk and President Trump, they do have an agenda to be able to accumulate certain digital assets. These digital assets, when after the economic reset and value has flown to these assets, the plan is to use those assets to wipe out the U.S. national debt of almost $40 trillion. Okay? Now, the digital assets is a new idea. It's a new asset class. And this is the plan, because artificial intelligence is what I call the machine-to-machine economy, meaning just the way you have the business to consumer model, and you have your B2B model, which is the business to business. In the artificial intelligence scene, you're going to have machine to machine working. So I'm talking robotics, I'm talking AI agents. They are going to be handling production, they're going to be handling commerce, finance, banking, and everything that you can think of. So how will these robots communicate? How would they be able to exchange value within themselves? How would they be able to carry out medium of exchange transactions? They are only going to use fiat, they are only going to use digital money. And digital money is digital assets. So we are in the middle of an economic reset, which 99% of the world is not even aware of. Now, when this economic reset is done, value is going to flow to this new asset class. And when that happens, between now and 2030, they are going to use the revenue from this fund or this reserve to set out and clear its U.S. debts.
Now, you recently proposed the creation of Nigeria Digital Asset Commission and Digital Asset Reserve for both the federal and state government. Why do we need a Digital Asset Commission and Reserve?
The digital asset space is a new economy entirely. These assets are going to be drive economy, which I call the machine-to-machine economy. They're going to drive in AI, and this is what is going to revolutionize the fourth industrial revolution that we have all been talking about. So, if the US is planning to have, or they already have, a digital asset Fort Knox, just the way you have the gold Fort Knox, they also have the digital asset Fort Knox. And at this point we're speaking, they are busy accumulating this qualified and utility-driven digital assets. When this happens, when value flows to these assets, they use these assets to clear its debts or to clear the US's debts. So what am I insinuating or what am I proposing? I am simply just replicating the same method, the same plan of the US. We are going to set up a Nigeria Digital Assets Commission, which would create a digital asset reserve at the federal level and also at the state level. Every state governor should have a state digital assets commission, and they also should have a state digital assets reserve. These reserves will accumulate these utility-driven digital assets. These digital assets, when the economic reset is done, they would use this value to settle our debts, create employment, carry out socio-economic development projects, human capital projects, and so on. There is just so much for us to do. And talking about the master plan of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to take Nigeria to a $1 trillion GDP stage, I see us having the Digital Asset Commission and having the Digital Asset Reserve in line with that economic plan. These reserves will take us to, will take us over and about, will take us over $1 trillion in GDP. I'm talking about the state level, I'm talking about at the federal level. And this is the master plan.
The digital assets are known for their high volatility, most especially when you talk about the cryptos. What specific risk management and mitigations strategies beyond simple diversification will be put in place to somehow protect the principal investment of reserves, ensuring the store of value function is maintained over the proposed long-term plan?
At the moment, I would refer to the digital asset space, which is over $4 trillion as we speak. I would refer to that space as the Wild Wild West. So something is actually happening. Talking about volatility. The reason why we are here is because we are actually in the process and we are going somewhere. Like I said, having those digital assets commission and the digital asset reserve will only contain utility-driven digital assets. These assets are technology protocols that will be solving problems, real-world problems, and they also will be providing what I call fuel to the digital economy, the new digital economy. They are the rails and the infrastructure that would foster the growth and the success of the machine-to-machine economy, which is the AI economy coming soon. So, talking about volatility, volatility would not be necessary because we have the stablecoin or the Genius Act, which has just been signed by the previous president in July 2025. And what is coming soon before Christmas is the Market Structure Bill or the Market Structure Act. When that happens, we have the two pieces of legislation which fits the treasure chest. And it activates this digital economy that we are all talking about. Now, once the piece of legislation, once the Market Structure Bill is signed to law by the US president, come before Christmas 2025, you are going to see 99% of the cryptocurrencies or the digital asset, as you would call it, you would see them go to zero. And you would see certain utility-driven digital assets. You would see them rise to their hidden value. It is a master plan by the US. It is a master plan by the gatekeepers of the global financial system to take the world to a new frontier. It's a new world. So volatility wouldn't be necessary. It wouldn't be something to consider because they would all go away, and that is the truth. The utility digital assets will stand, and that is what I am proposing in the Digital Asset Reserve, which will be controlled by the Digital Asset Commission at the state government level and also at the federal government level.
Now, to funding the reserve, how do you propose the federal and state governments fund the initial acquisition for these reserves? Will it be a percentage of excess crude account savings, sovereign debt, or a portion of federal account allocation committee disbursement, or perhaps an entirely new revenue stream tied to DLT, digital economy taxation?
The source of finance for setting up this reserve, I think that would be ultimately the priority of Mr. President and his council members. I feel, sitting here, I feel it could come from either way. It could come from the federation account. It could come from my considered revenue account. It could come from anywhere they deem fit. That is my point. But I feel that the source of funding for this digital asset reserve should be decided upon by Mr. President.
You are the author of the Next Money book, the Internet of Value Reset. Tell us what your readers stand to gain by purchasing a copy.
For the average Nigerian who is trying to get ahead in life, we have been given a golden opportunity. I feel that 15, 20 years from now, I'm talking by 2040, our kids, probably in secondary school, are going to be reading about the Stablecoin Act, which is the Genius Act, which was just signed. And they will be talking about the Market Structure Bill, which was just signed, which has heralded the new monetary system The last one we had was the Federal Reserve Act of 1913, and the one before that, was the gold standard of 1875, and the one before that was the Coinage Act of 1792. Now we have another piece of legislation signaling a new world, which is the Stablecoin Genius Act. This legislation is opening up the world and saying we are in a new space. Wake up, everybody. The IMF MD is actually even saying it. Elon Musk is actually saying it. Everybody is up. So we need to come to the new term. So for our readers who is going to be picking up that book and saying, what is the Internet of Value Reset? What they stand to gain is understand that we are in a new world. And they will be able to take the decisions of identifying these digital assets that are going to be controlling the new digital economy. So they will be owning a piece of that world. And that would put them on a scale of being the new 1% of the world. It's a new world. It's going to bring financial freedom for them and their families and the generations to come. Because this technology is going to last for another 100 years. I don't know what's going to happen by 2120 or 2130, but between now and then, we have 100 years. This piece of legislation, this new monetary system, which is digital money, is going to last for 100 years. So what I'm stating, or what I've enlisted in the book, is the list of protocols. They are technology protocols, and at the same time, they are digital assets. They've got two functions in one. So they are providing infrastructure to the new system, but when you put it in your wallet, it's actually a digital asset. So it increases in value, and it also solves a problem in the blockchain or the real world space. So reading the book as a reader will give you access to the new technology running the artificial intelligence economy.
Coming back to the Digital Assets Commission, if approved by Mr. President at the federal level, what are the skill sets needed to run and operate such a new asset class?
We definitely don't need no cowboys. Cowboy is a term that I coined out to represent misfits. Okay. First of all, we would need people who have expertise in distributed ledger technology, people who have expertise in blockchain, people who have expertise in information technology security, people who have the experience in accounting, a little bit of finance, and a little bit of business. So the list goes on, because when we put our leg in the water, then we get to see where we're going. But sitting here right now, I feel that having technical knowledge in blockchain and distributed ledger technology and digital assets are the first line of guys that we need to have running the commission.
Before I let you go, for a state governor seeking your consultation on utility digital assets identification and selection, what are the tangible, measurable deliverables they will receive from your office in the first 3 months of engagement?
It has to be a roundtable meeting where we can actually discuss formalities and how we can go ahead in creating this Digital Assets Commission and the reserve. First off, what we are going to be delivering is identifying those digital assets, which we've done already. We're just going to be presenting it to the respective governor or Mr. President himself. We're going to state in the digital assets and telling the governor or the president what utility these digital assets are providing and how they are going to transform the sector of which they are being positioned in. We have some in cross-border payments, we have some in digital IDs, we have some in voting, we have some in transportation, we have some in cyberspace security, and so on. So we are going to present these assets. We are going to provide technology services in terms of managing these reserves and also securing it and making sure that we get the right benefits for our clients.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ochuko Akejabo. It's been a pleasure having you on the program.